Hey guys, I'm SNwadiei. Today I'm coming to y'all as the Creole Griotist, telling you another story that actually came from my own life. Y'all, with all this stuff that's happening in this world, I'm starting to believe that the whole world is a stage, as they said in the song back in the day, and everybody playing a part. The more things change, the more things remain the same. It's just that now with social media out here, more people can have their voices heard, whereas back in the day, it was only heard by a few people, just say inside of your family. I'm sure most of you guys have storytellers in your family. I know I did. My grandmother told plenty of stories. My grandfather told plenty of stories. Even my mother, in her own way, told her stories, y'all. But that's stories for other days. Today, I'm going to take some chapters from my lifetime, y'all, because all the horrible things happening in the world and people thinking that they're doing the right thing, but they're doing horrible things to one another, some more than others. You know, it's like animal form described real things that's happened before and continues, as they say, and the story continues. But anyways, I was born into a Catholic family. And that's just to get y'all started at my so-called religious and cultural background. Colored Catholic. And then since I'm in the USA, we became Afro-American, then Black American, then African American. We was Afro-Americans back in the 70s. But y'all, I'm just me. My Catholic nun cousin, I'm sure she'll be ready to slap me upside my head, even if she knew I was sharing this, because she always said, you're a Catholic till you die. And she told me that, y'all, when I shared with her that I was starting to attend a Methodist church because they had all those support groups for single people. And no, I was not a women's liber that was out there just wanting to have children on my own. No, I started off as married to a educated man that I thought we were equally yoked. But it just was not meant to be, y'all. We was married for 7 years, so it was no fly-by-night relationship or anything. Sometimes they say money corrupts, but who knows? It's complicated, y'all. But anyway, I've practiced many different belief systems, and I've researched many, many more, because I always had that search for significance, search for questions of why was I here, and why my life was like it was. And I tried my best to be the best person that I could be, tried to be helpful to as many people as possible, and live my life as good as I could. I was no saint, y'all. When I was young, I was something else, y'all. I was. And when I was married, I was a good married woman. I even heard that I dressed too much like a married woman. And that complaint came from my husband to my then brother. And that's another story for another day. But anyway, y'all, I was living in lots of different places during our marriage. And then again, after the divorce. And I'm telling y'all, I studied to show myself approved as much as possible, y'all. I even lived in the Bible Belt in Tulsa, Oklahoma, y'all. And that's where I got to be a Bible addict. Yeah, y'all, a Bible study addict. I even went to theology school for a whole year, y'all, because I just didn't want to be an ignorant sheep, y'all. I just didn't. Had nothing to do with me wanting to be anybody's preacher. But anyway, y'all, I learned about speaking in tongues, which never really happened to me. One time I went to one of these evangelical places in Houston. In fact, I was visiting one of my friends at work church, and it was that John Osteen place. I can't even think of the name of the place now, but it was when it was a big round building that didn't look like nothing but a tin building on the outside, but on the inside it was pink, hot pink. They called it a heavenly place. All the seats was all velvety and stuff, like at the movie theater. And they will call you up to the stage for kind of an altar call to so say if you wanted to learn to speak in tongues. And I put my hand up, y'all, and my co-worker was so proud of me, y'all, that I left my children there with her. They was not babies, you know, probably school age, so they were just fine with her. And I followed the little small group up to the front, and then we was led by so-called counselors, went to a little bit of rooms in the back, little classrooms, and they had the little tiny books, y'all. And the tiny book said how to receive the Spirit. And y'all, they seemed to give everybody a book but me. And I remember the woman who was supposed to be helping me learn how to get this spirit. And she was saying, all you had to do is read this or say that, and it would happen. And I did what they said, but nothing happened. So she just came over to me and whispered in my ear, say crumb de la crumb. I'll never forget that. And I said it, y'all. And the next thing I knew, she patted my hand and she said, you did it. Like, get the heck out of here. You just not a good one. So y'all, I tipped on out of there. Yes, I did. And when I was leaving out of there, I took a book, that little booklet, and I was like, I hope that I don't get hurt trying to sneak out of here with a book that they didn't give me because I didn't look like I could be trusted with their secret. But y'all, that little pamphlet didn't have no secret. It had some little scriptures in it that never worked. Even bought cassette tapes for $20 on how to receive the gift of tongues and all that at Oral Roberts or whatever, or Raymond, whatever. Y'all, I went everywhere, especially when my father was having cancer and we was trying to pray for him to get better. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to have to say this in two different, at least, talks, because people seem to have short attention spans these days. Nothing personal, just the truth. So we'll just make this part one. When I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, y'all, I told y'all I went to theology school for a year, and I was working at the hospital there, Tulsa Regional, and I never worked on weekends because I was hired that way, and that was perfect. I became a 7-day Adventist because they gave such good information and had great Bible studies, y'all, at the hotel, so I didn't feel threatened. And it was very nice, would even give you roses when they meet with you. You know, all the ladies, not just me. And they just kept talking about Babylon and that people will be called by the name, that God's children will be known by God's name. And I asked them, I said, okay, well, what is God's name? And even some of their literature said Yahweh, but they said, we don't use that here, that some of the people that felt so strong about it had to leave the organization because we don't really talk about it here. And I'm saying, but you said you're known by the name, so why wouldn't you use the name? But anyway, y'all, I got so serious that I even end up with a Bible. Yeah, New Testament even, that's written in Hebrew and English. Hebrew and English. Tried my best, y'all. I even was trying to learn a little Hebrew. But I was older, so it was hard, y'all. But anyway, let's say I'm wrapping it up for this part one. I'll see you in part two.